Hello, everybody. We are Real, where I am Charity Morris.
And I am Michelle Thayer.
And our passion is
helping you find your way home.
So why not let love guide you? Today is
New Year's Day, 2025.
New Year's Day.
Yeah, boy.
Happy New Year.
2024 out the door.
Out the door. I like that. 2024 out the door.
Get out of here. And don't come back for 5 to 7 days.
I love it. I love it.
And we are keeping it real, hanging over here
real.
with hanging at Charity's pad.
Hanging at my house.
Exactly.
I like it.
I know.
We got to have our first show at the Taj Mahal.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to bring you to my house where I call my children chickens. So
exactly.
I have them too.
It's kind of, so it's like Taj Mahal.
I've got a whole zoo
Version
over
2.
Here, though, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a bunny. I think that's enough chickens for them all.
I love that you have a bunny.
I do.
I love that you have
I don't love that I have a bunny.
I don't want it. I never have.
But that's another.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, right?
It did. It did.
It really did.
My Mother's Day gift went to my youngest daughter, so she just had to have the bunny.
There you go. There you go.
I had to provide the bunny.
There you go. That's what you do.
Now it's
That's
my bunny.
exactly. Now it's your bunny. Oh my goodness.
Oh goodness. Speaking of real, we're keeping it all the way real.
Exactly. We are keeping it all the way real. We're
Real
real
estate.
professionals now.
We
Exactly.
are. We got our t-shirts. We're here on the 1st of the 2025.
Yeah.
Ready to get this thing started.
Mm-hmm.
You thought of some really good ideas to educate. We're always trying to educate our friends in a real, authentic, natural kind of vibey way.
Yeah.
Right?
And we've talked a lot about, helping our buyers and sellers and giving them information and education, and that is all really good stuff. But one of the big questions that really comes up a lot, and it's coming up now, the new year, people are making New Year's resolutions. They're thinking about different plans for the new year. And I want to be a realtor so I can go make tons of money. So what is it really like to be a realtor?
I can tell you
Not so
from
much.
personal experience, I was so lost getting into the real estate world.
Yeah.
I went from working in a law firm for 12 plus years to having kids out of the workforce, but needing something that was going to be flexible for me to be able to contribute to my household, but also keep my kids first, right? Real estate, like, heck yeah, I love houses. I love going and checking out the new houses.
And being that person to help facilitate that. And
guide you and figure things out with you. Yes, I
solve
love
problems. Duck and groove, Yeah.
Duck and groove. Shake and move. Yep.
Do to what? Ow! Do to what? Do to what? What?
That's one of my favorites.
I know. And then and then reality kicked in. Wow, this is expensive.
It is.
It is.
Now, it's not just to take the test or just to take the class and just get the license and you're done.
Right. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot involved in it. And I really don't think that people realize how much is involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, buyers and sellers don't realize how much is involved in it. New realtors or would-be realtors, they don't either. They don't. And a lot of them.
And that can be scary.
It is. And a lot of them get sticker shock, which justifiably so.
I don't wanna do this anymore.
And then other ones are just like, oh no, I'm out.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And it is, but there's a lot to it. And just like in anything that we do, you go to any profession, especially any type of skilled profession, whether it's you're going to get your hair done, you're calling the plumber, you're doing whatever. Yeah. You're not paying for that moment in time. You're paying for everything that person has learned and all their time and money,
all their education and
their
experience. And
exactly. So that costs money. And so we were doing a breakdown, and wow, there's a lot.
There's a lot. I knew that there was a lot now. I shouldn't say I knew that then, because I didn't. Like I said, I was one of those ones, like, sticker shock.
Yeah.
Because I went through my little 40-hour class, because here in Michigan, you have to have 40 hours,
right?
You have to pass a 40-hour class before you can take the state test.
Yes, you need 40 hours of real estate education
and then you can take your test as long as you pass that class.
Right.
So I got through my 40 hours, and then I went to take the test, and I had studied my behind off. Like, I'm not even joking. I failed it. I failed it. Utterly failed it. And they don't tell you, like, how, what questions you got wrong.
Where you
like,
need
you just
to
have
focus.
to, like, figure it out. Yeah. And at the time, I had young kids, so I didn't take it again for a little while. Well, then I went back a couple months later, took it again, failed it again. And it was just like, man, this is terrible. This is not. This is not what
I saw happening.
This is what I have to deal with every single day.
So I let like 2 years lapse after going through my whole hours, trying to take the test twice and failing, and was just like, all right, maybe it's not for me. I'm not doing it. And then again, let 2 years lapse and still needed that career that was able to work around my children, but was still something I enjoyed because I was a waitress as well. I've done other types of things like that, and it just was not what I wanted to do.
I have to do something I don't want to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? I do not want to do this!
I wanted to do something that I felt was more meaningful.
Right. I feel like I want to do. Gosh.
Right? And then I finally, 2 years later, got back in there. I studied my butt off for 2 weeks straight, passed it. And they don't even tell you how much you passed it.
No, they don't.
Just like, pass.
I want somebody to come out and go, da, 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 da.
Like they should have like dropped sprinkles and confetti.
Tiny Diamond is my name. Come straight from my daddy's name. My body's made of glitter, and I'll throw it in your face.
Confetti. Like I felt like I deserved it.
You need to walk
2
around.
years later, and 3 attempts. And
That story with the kid that walks around and the mom goes to do the kid's laundry and he's got glitter in his pocket and the mom is like, "Why do you have glitter?" And he's like, "It's my emergency glitter."
I love that. Just start carrying around emergency glitter.
Emergency glitter.
Drop a bomb on somebody every now and again. That's awesome.
I know, right?
We digress, Michelle.
Exactly,
We're
I
off
know.
the topic.
So now you passed your test.
I passed it, got through it, was like, all right, now let's go. Now you got to find a broker.
Yep.
And if you don't already know somebody, you got to like figure that out, you know? Like I didn't have anybody that I knew of until my boss at the time, like I told you, he was an attorney, but he was also a real estate broker and he taught real estate for a long time. So I was like, yay, he gives me a referral to one of the companies. I don't know, can we say the companies?
We'll just a big box company.
A big box company, yes. I get a referral there, I go there, and I'm like, all right, we're going to do this thing. I'm ready to start working. You know, they're like, here's our beautiful office. Here's the computers. You'll get this space that you can work in and have fun. And I was like,
now
how do I get leads? What do I do? Like, nobody's teaching me anything. Nobody's giving me anything.
Let me be clear. Real estate school teaches you nothing about being a realtor.
No, it
nothing.
only teaches you, like, the
legality.
Right, like how much an acre is. You better know how
many rods are in an acre.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It teaches you important stuff, but it's
not stuff that you use daily in the actual field of real estate.
No, it teaches you nothing about being a realtor.
Right.
It's like
you show up with all of this wonderful information. You're like, oh, I know all this
stuff. I can be a realtor now.
But you have no idea how to get a client.
Right.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Or how to guide somebody in that process. Like you're still figuring it out.
Absolutely. They don't even mention the paperwork.
No.
They don't even mention the paperwork, the paperwork, the documents, the contracts.
None of it.
All of that kind of stuff. Yeah,
none of it. It was brand new. So when I showed up at that new brokerage, they, of course, gave me, you know, this is what a purchase agreement looks like. This is what your disclosure looks like. You know, this is what your seller's disclosures look like. Like they gave me like a
basic.
Right. This is what they should look like. But it still was not, how do you get started in the real estate world?
I'm sure they did not break down what all those contracts meant.
Hell no.
Cost. I had no idea. Oh, yeah. Then I get my first bill for being at the brokerage.
You get a bill. $100. Isn't it awesome? You get a bill.
What the hell are you talking about?
for going to
Yeah,
work.
for going to work. I'm like, bro, I didn't even get a single client, and I got to pay you $100 because they're only associating a couple of those costs. That's E&O and that's MLS.
Right.
Those are the only costs they were charging me for there.
Right.
But that doesn't include all the others.
Stuff. Right. Exactly.
You're gonna break it all down.
Yeah,
for us,
and
Michelle,
so like I
lots.
had a little bit of the opposite because I had somebody talk me. I don't want to say talk me into, but was like, you would be really good at this. My man, he had his real estate license and was with a very small firm, and they had been friends for years.
Okay.
And I was kind of helping out in the office, doing a few different things, helping and things like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, you would be really good at this. You really should do this. And I'm like,
not really your thing.
No, I did it. I was like, I wasn't in that space.
And what did you come from to real estate?
I've always been in some sort of customer service. Like I was a customer service, a supervisor at Kmart. I was in, medical claims. I was in a call center and different things. So it's always been some sort of question and answer, solving problems, making people on that side of the counter feel better.
Helping people.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. And so when I did finally go and get my license, and I did pass it the first time.
Oh, she deserves a gold star for that one. Love that. Right. Yes. I should have had it on hand, ready to douse you in it.
And so he was a very small broker. And so, I'll break down a few of these things. We had our MLS and that $100 bill, that $100 that went through, but that didn't even touch on anything. Right. And then he, unfortunately, after about a year or so, there was a tragic accident, and we actually lost him. He passed away.
Oh, that's terrible.
I ended up, the whole group, we kind of went to this other little brokerage, and unbeknownst to us, that broker was actually making a deal with another big box store, and they got bought out. So now I'm in this big box one, and they're like, here's a training manual, and here's a training this, and here's a training that, and here's a cost for this, and we want you to learn this software, and you have to pay for this software, and you have to do this. And that $100 bill turned into a $300 bill.
Yeah. And it happens fast.
And then they started charging me to use the copy machine. I'm like, I am out. I
totally hear you on that. I had the same thing happen at the second real estate company, because this is the third that I've been with. JD is my third.
Why do I gotta put my phone number in the copy machine? What does it say? Right. Oh, so because we're gonna charge you 5 cents for black and white copies and 10 cents for color. I'm like,
what? And why am I a broker here?
Exactly. Why am I a realtor here?
A realtor here. Yeah. Why are you my broker?
Right.
You're charging me for everything.
What's your sole purpose in this army? To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
And you're going to take part of my commission.
Yes. Which we will be getting to shortly. That's also in these breakdowns.
Exactly.
Let's tell them what the breakdowns
are. So to be a realtor, no matter what, if you want to be able to work within the MLS, which is where everything is housed, and you find yourself
all the houses, all of the
that's a monthly fee, and to be part of the MLS, you have to be part of a board.
Yep.
And you have to pay those board fees.
So that's 2 monthly fees.
That's 2 monthly fees, and they're usually right around $50 to $55. So there's $100 off the top.
Yep.
Boom, and that's every month without fail. Does not matter.
If you do not pay it, you do not have access to that
exactly.
MLS.
No, they shut
you're
you
not
right
even able to look at it anymore.
Exactly. Yep.
What is the 5 fingers? Say to the face. What? Slap.
So those are your 2 just to start with. And in some brokerages, you have to pay for your own E&O, which errors and
omissions.
Okay. Your own insurance.
Out the long way. Yeah.
Okay. At ours, we don't have to do that now. Thank you, Lord, because Janice the Gregory is just wonderful, and we love you.
Really
Shameless
plug. Thank you.
Exactly. Because that's all part of
that was huge for me when I came over to Janice, was the fact that they had that opportunity for us.
And a lot of those bigger box stores, they charge desk fees. They charge for copies.
Larry, you can't.
They charge for this.
You can't just.
They charge for. You have to have all of these different programs that you have to pay for monthly.
Right?
Yeah.
So now with our brokerage, anything that we do above and beyond, that's our own expenses. But we have to have these expenses. We have a CRM. We have to be able to track everything. We have to be able to be organized and be able to stay in contact with our clients. Then we have marketing. I mean, all of those wonderful things that you see that people do, it's not for free.
Oh, Jesus.
So you got monthly,
like our real estate shirts right here, marketing ourselves.
Yeah. You got client gifts. I mean, you and your husband, you made some of them.
I can't even say how many gifts we've made over the last just like 3 years for our brokerage people. We've had quite a few people from our brokerage ask and outside.
Right.
But yeah, like you
do closing gifts.
What the hell?
Or Christmas gifts. Or,
client appreciation days. Just your basic marketing, those just sold or just listed postcards. Those cost money, so you got postage, you've got marketing, Canva. It's a wonderful thing. It's not free. There is a free version, but you need more stuff.
Right. You still have to print the stuff off. And if you have a brokerage that charges you nickels and dimes for every single black and white copy you make, that's going to add up really quick.
Right. Exactly. So there's all of these fees are there regardless of whether you have a closing that month.
Right. It doesn't matter. If you don't have a closing for years, you're still paying that every single month if you want to remain a realtor. You don't have an option.
I'll give you $40 worth of coupons for a burrito with cheese. It's all I've got.
And now we're showing houses. Now we're out showing houses. Gas, insurance on your car, all of those things. That's
your phone with the GPS and the showing time application you need to use to get access to the house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all of these things.
Meetings with people and, and I about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, 2 or 3 years ago. Anyways, I was meeting with a realtor friend of mine. She's with our brokerage too, Andrea.
Okay.
And we were meeting at Costco because that was the only time that we could find that we were going to be relatively in the same place at the same time. So we went for lunch at Costco. Way glamorous.
Yeah, right? I mean, well, you can get some free samples.
I know, right? Exactly.
Oh my God, is that a sample?
And we were talking, and so she had just closed with somebody. I don't remember if it was her or me. I don't remember now. They all come together. But so it was this young couple. It was their first house, and they were pretty well off. He was a six-figure kind of guy, and so they were quite well off, and it was their first home.
Awesome.
And the wife says at closing, you know what? When we're done with this, I think that I'm going to go and get my real estate license so I can have like, I don't know, $5,000, $6,000 a month to do with whatever I want and be a trophy wife.
Are you? No.
Well, we are sitting in a Costco eating a hot dog out of aluminum foil.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So she had no idea of all of these associated. She's about to put herself in a whole lot of debt trying to be a realtor for nothing.
Right, but all she saw was that they were out looking at houses and, the realtor's driving a nice car and we're dressed decently and we're going in and we're meeting. We're going to meet for lunch and talk with your clients and things like that.
But none of those things
that's all she saw.
Yeah.
And now that's...
And none of those things are things, like, we have to pay for all of that ourselves.
And then let's talk about continuing education.
Oh my gosh, that's like the worst part of it all.
Right.
Because every single year you're required to get, what is it? How many hours do we need?
It's 18 credits over a 3-year period or however they keep
it ends
changing.
up breaking down to like 6 a year.
Yeah,
really.
Like
and
that.
Of that 6, like 2 of them have to be legal.
Right, and now we have the equal housing, the equal opportunity housing too. Wow.
Yeah.
So, so all of those things, those classes,
they cost money.
They cost money, and you have to do that, or you don't get your license renewed.
Right.
So it's a lot.
It is a lot, and like I said, I had no idea, and it was to the point where, now I have to pay all of this, and I don't know how to get any leads.
Yeah.
So then I got invited with those big box companies.
Mm-hmm.
They send out the letters and the mailers. They've got the backing to support all of that because they're charging their people 5 and 10 cents per copy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. And I'm charging you $40 to sit at this desk.
Yes. They sent me a letter and, hey, come and join us. We'd love to have you. We know that you're a realtor. We've got these different kind of trainings going on. And to me, for someone that was just starting off and had no idea what I was doing, it was like, okay, this is a godsend for me. I need to reach out to this person. And so I did. And I started in this big box company. And then that's where it was, oh, now this is even more money monthly that I'm paying for. And I have to show up so many hours per week to take a class.
Yeah. Oh, and
for free for an entire book of this to have some other realtor tell me about this book. Not even one of the brokers, just some other realtor that works there. Teach me whatever's in this book that I already went through a 40-hour class for. Because if I don't finish this whole entire class that they have, I don't get any of the phone calls that come into this brokerage. And that's the only way I can get leads from this brokerage is if I'm allowed floor time for those phone calls to come in and collect them.
Oh, my God, this was a terrible mistake.
It never happened. I had one deal with that company. I was with them for, I want to say 2 years. I had one deal with that company. They did not help me with a single aspect of it. I was so incredibly confused the whole time. And it was a listing.
Excuse me, what?
So for me, brand new realtor, it was my first job ever as a realtor. Brand new to this.
It's scary stuff.
It's so scary because it's a huge purchase. And for this person, it was an elderly woman who was selling her house because she had to go and move into a nursing facility. So I'm trying to be like, as helpful as I possibly can and guide her appropriately and be there. And I didn't know what I was doing. So my broker not being there, being available to answer questions, the buyer's agent at one point told me, your broker should be guiding you through this whole entire thing. And after that conversation with her, I don't remember her name to this point, but I always think back on that. Like, she is what made me really start thinking I really do need to interview these brokers and make sure I'm going to get what I'm trying to give to my clients. Because if I don't have the knowledge or the understanding, I can't guide them. And that's my whole purpose for this job.
And that's just like we've said on several different podcasts and different episodes about not having to know everything, but knowing the right people and having that guidance.
Yeah.
And so you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And I think, and that's a big deal. And realtors what is it? There's like 30,000 licensed realtors in the state of Michigan.
Just in Michigan.
Just in Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's like, they have no idea, and when you get your real estate license, normally with a lot of people, it's your friends and family first, because you got that, I'm a realtor, and it'll either go feast or famine as far as like you have a lot of friends and family that you are able to help, and it keeps you going for a little bit. But when those run out, if you don't know how to go out and start marketing yourself or finding your niche, or building those relationships,
you're just not going to have it.
You're just not going to have it. And it's like, what happened? Well, nobody taught and nobody showed you.
Yeah.
So it's those people who think that they're going to go and be a realtor and just make millions of dollars and sit around and ship champagne.
I messed up.
Go to Costco and get one of their hot dogs. They're really good.
Do some reflecting over a nice, yummy hot dog.
Exactly. And on all of those freebies, the free samples, they're helpful too.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I like it.
And think about all the marketing and the different stuff that we do.
There's so much. I mean, just you and I have talked about a lot of things that we offer to our clients. And it's not to, throw shade at any other realtors, like everybody's able to do what they're able to do.
And everybody runs their business the way they see fit.
Right. And none of them are wrong the way that they handle it. They just are different from the way that we do. But for us, those extra costs of professional photos and drone shoots or commercials that we might put together, or
possible virtual staging or different things like that.
All those costs that we do not Michelle and I
do not pass
on to our clients as realtors. Not to say other people don't handle things differently, but those costs are costs that we just take on our own, just as a benefit to our clients.
Because that's how we do business.
Right. And we're hoping that by doing those things and by offering those things, that if you choose to buy or sell a home in the future, you're going to reach back out to us because we extended that extra effort.
And putting that best foot forward to make sure that, you know, your buyer or your seller is getting the most exposure, getting the best education, the best things.
Yeah.
But regardless of whether we have a listing and that house sells, or we have a buyer and that buyer buys, regardless, all of those monthly expenses still come out.
There. Yeah.
All of those. And then there's just your regular living expenses, and you're working to pay all of those things. And so if you don't sell a house, we don't get paid. And we can't call the MLS and go, so it's been really slow. And so I'm just, can I just not pay my MLS fee and my board fees this week?
Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
All right, Johnny. But what about my money?
Yeah,
this month
they don't care.
No, they'll be like, oh,
if you want to hold your license, then
Click
you better pay. That's the end of it. There's no discussing beyond it. Just like your gas, your electric, and your house. It's not, they're not going to let you pay late. It's due when it's due. And if you don't pay it, it gets shut off. It's the same thing with our license.
I know, exactly. I'm going to call DT and be like, you know, it's been really slow. It's Christmas.
We had a closing in about a month.
So can you send me a bill in I don't know, 3 months?
I'm sure I'll have a client by then. I'm sure these podcasts are going to work.
These
podcasts
are going to work any second now. Any minute now. It's going to come flowing in. It's awesome.